Okay, so the first thing you want to do is to clone client first. You go to finsweet.com/client first. You clone the project, all right? It's more like a style guide. That's the first thing you want to do. You just have to rename it to whatever project you're working on, and now you want to start filling in the necessary details. Okay, so you open up the project, opens up client first documentation or their startup page. Now you go to the you go to the style guide. So this is where you would do all the necessary changes to your project, right? This is where you set all the font, all the colors, the buttons, everything. So now you have to check the Figma file or the design file and make sure everything is, noted down properly, like the style, the font, basically the font. So you want to take note of the fonts, and as you can see, I'm trying to check the font. I don't have it, so I went straight ahead to download the font. It's Satoshi. So I downloaded the font straight into my PC, after which I opened it. So if you don't get to see the font on Google Fonts, you just go straight ahead and download. Then you go to upload and you upload the necessary font that you would need. The regular, the medium, the bold, and all what have you. After which you would, click on add to fonts, add them all to the project. Now, you would now reload. You have to reload the project so you see the font, because if you don't reload, you probably won't see it. So right now you want to set the body all pages to that particular font, because the font is used across all through the project. So now you want to go set your H1 heading. So you check the project that you're working on and to see what their H1 is, and you set it in yours too. Your H1s to H2. Remember to use H1 all pages, H1 across every page, H2 the same thing, H3 to the same thing, all H2, all H2 and all H3. Just have to take note of your H1s, your H2s, your H3 from your design file, so you can set them up on the style guide inside the Webflow. That's client first. So this is it. You also want to check the paragraphs. You also want to check the text classes. You also want to check every other thing to make sure that you are in sync with the design. Also the colors, the buttons, you want to check that too. So this is where I went there too. This is where I changed the button colors and the style of the button, the radius and everything. This whole process takes a little while, because it's more of trying to format or trying to edit the style guide to suit your project. All right, because for every project you have to clone client first. It helps your build, it helps your work it helps make your work very easy and fast. So you want to do all that, make all changes. You want to also get the colors. You want to also get the colors for your project. From the design, you want to check the primary color, secondary colors, tertiary colors, black colors, gray and white. You want to have that in mind too. What else? So this process is like the main part of the entire thing. This part may be a little bit stressful, but then it is very important you do. It's more of editing the style guide to get the best out of it for the project. After now, the rest is just easy. Everything you will be doing is just calling the classes on your main project. All right, so okay, I'm still trying to make sure everything is aligned, everything is in place. Okay, still trying to make sure the whole thing. So after which you just have to delete the starter page and you kick off starting with the hero section. So this is how I name my projects, following client first principle and naming strategy. So this is a speed build. You just have to like follow along to see how my process is in design, basically. So you want to like follow along. If it's too much, you want to like slow it down and understand my structure or my processes. So this is how I approach every Webflow design or every Webflow project, basically, using client first strategy. All right, if client first is new to you, you want to take out time to learn it, because it has a learning curve. You just have to learn it, go through their website and study their documentation, and try to understand what it's about. It helps make life easy, and it helps make your naming structure very easy too. Because before now, I was used to naming classes, just whatever comes to my head, and it was kind of chaotic because there's a lot going on. You would have to like think about how to name your classes. Before you would just get confused at some point, and a whole lot to wrap your head around. But with client first, you just learn it once and practice with it, and I assure you that it's a strategy that you want to learn. You want to incorporate that in your Webflow build. So this is how I approach my every design, following the exact Figma design, building it in Webflow, and think you just have to follow along and enjoy the entire process.